Welcome back to Upon Further Review here on Wednesday night on 1380 The Fan, 100.9 FM, video on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and of course, your audio feeds wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for joining us tonight. And tonight, we're delighted to be joined by Jimmy Linker, wide receiver for Huntington North. Jimmy, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yes, thanks for inviting me. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first let's go back to Friday night. A big win for the Vikings over Columbia City. Talk about that win. I know you guys had to hold on and pull it out ultimately in the end, but take me back to Friday night, that big win against Columbia City, and just what you guys were able to do against a talented team.
Yeah, I think we kind of came into that game with a chip on our shoulder. Starting off 0-3 is never what you want to do, and we also knew in the back of our minds that it's one of those games where we haven't beat them since we've been in the conference. Like, we beat them in 2009, and I was a year old then, and then now being able to come out and really kind of put it to them in that first half. Obviously, I had to hold on in the second half. I took the opening kickoff to the house, and that was a real jump start. And, that I think that really got our guys into, yeah, we can do this. And we kind of rolled off of that. Second half, obviously, we did offensively. We definitely struggled in the second half. And I think in part that's because just we didn't run the ball phenomenally, but we didn't run the ball a lot. We dropped back to pass 35 times, I think. And that's ultimately what worked for us. So, yeah, our defense played a phenomenal game. We shut them out through 3 quarters, and then kind of some slip-ups. I think, maybe it's you got tired, maybe it's whatever. You can give all the excuses you want, but at the end of the day, they scored twice and made it an interesting game at the very end.
Sure. The house call on the kickoff. What's that like? I mean, was that the first time you'd done that on that high school varsity stage?
Yeah, so I haven't had a return for a touchdown yet. My brother had 2 or 3 in his career. I think it was 2. But yeah, taking that one, I mean, and one of the guys, one of my best friends, I texted him before the game when we found out that we were returning, and I ended up telling him, "Hey, I'm taking this opening kickoff to the house. I have text message proof, whatever you want." Like, and I told him, I was like, "Man, I'm gonna do it." And then, you break that seam, and you realize you got one guy to beat, run right by him, and then it's all green grass from there. And it's one of the best feelings in the world.
Absolutely. And you've had a great season for you. And a little bit of a quarterback change. Obviously, Tony Decker graduates. Enter in some transfers. Excuse me. Ultimately, Huntington North and Coach Exbach go with Latham James. And you've found a quick connection with this. I think averaging over 100 yards receiving per game. Talk about this season, this team, some new faces. I think you said 14 seniors, just like last year. So a lot of good returners coming back too. Just talk about this season so far, the new chemistry that you've been able to work in with the new quarterback and some of the other pieces that are part of this squad.
Yeah, so Lathan joined us at the beginning of the summer in June, and the good thing that he did was he was always able to go out there and mess up, and he made mistakes, and he played like a sophomore. But at the end of the day, he ended up, showing that he has the talent, he has the physical capability. Where's he going to be at mentally? And by the time it rolled around a season, we were like, yep, he's really shown that he can do it. And I mean, through the 2.5, whatever you want to call it, games he's played, he has done a phenomenal job. He finds the guy that doesn't look like he's going to be there until late even. But yeah, I mean, he's done a great job. There's a lot of guys, like, we have a lot of returners and we have a lot of juniors and sophomores that have stepped up really, really well. Um, Having a guy like Eric Fry, who had a big game this past week, he's been battling injuries all year and still is. He had 110 yards on 4 catches, and he had that huge 70-yard touchdown. So, there's certain guys that maybe not have had that varsity experience yet until this year that have done a phenomenal job of just stepping up and really getting after it.
And I alluded to it, the sectional from a year ago, you guys advanced to regionals against East Noble. 1993, the last time Huntington North had done it, and quite a run. What was it about that group of guys and the seniors that you guys had and some of the younger guys too were able to break through and do something that not only had not been done for a long time in Huntington North, realistically, I think it never even kind of entered the people's minds for a long time either, that you could do something like that.
Yeah, so with my age group and the guys that graduated last year, obviously you have my brother in that group, and I think with us two specifically, we all grew up together. Like the guys and the juniors and seniors from last year's team, so my age and my brothers, like a lot of us played together when we were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Like we've absolutely grown up together. And we've been dreaming about a moment like that since we were little kids. Like that's exactly what we wanted. Being able to have that chemistry of knowing like, hey, we're going to mess up, we're going to get better, and we're going to do it together is just a great thing to have that feeling. And there's not a lot of guys that I'd rather do that with in that group. I mean, just because they graduated doesn't mean they still come to the games. They still, Tony Tatum, my brother, they're always talking to us like, hey, how are you guys doing? How's it look? Good luck this week. They're always by us. Like we're still great friends with all of them, and they just that year last year being able to do it with them. We didn't get injured a lot, and any bumps and bruises, we pushed each other through it, and we were like, hey, we got to get out there, we got to play. And I just think in reality we did a great job of being brothers and having a family with that team.
Sure. And tidbit of trivia there with that team, the kicker, you guys win the sectional on a field goal kick. The kicker was a foreign exchange student from Germany. Just talk about
Yeah.
that. A lot of people may not know that. A cool side of the story that realistically, I went down there and did a story with you guys for PSM for my day job. I didn't realize till I got down there that Johan was the kicker. Just briefly explain kind of what that special part of it was all about.
Yeah, Johan's a phenomenal kid. Like so many good things to say about him. He came out, he joined us late summer, and obviously he didn't start kicking in games until I think he started doing field goals in week 2, and he started doing kickoffs in week 3 or 4. And he just, for whatever reason, had a knack for just putting it dead straight. I was the holder, so I held everything for him, and there was bumps and bruises. He had some knee pain just because it's new to him, because he didn't play soccer. He did a little bit of kickboxing, is what he told us, but
Okay.
he didn't play soccer, so it wasn't like oh, he's a soccer player, let's see if he can kick. It was hey, can I try kicking? And he being able to celebrate that game-winning field goal and being like, hey, dude, how did you just do that for us? Like, this is crazy. He comes all the way from Germany, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna win you guys this thing you haven't done in 30 years.
That's amazing. Well, that was an amazing story. Not just the fact that you guys were sectional champs for the first time since '93, but doing it on the leg of Johan. And of course, Tony Decker, a great quarterback. You and your brother Marcus were a great wide receiver duo and all of that. And a lot of good players. I think of Tatum Brooks and some of the other names that have come through there in the last several years. So certainly, and certainly a great story with a little bit of that added icing on the cake, if you will. But Jeremy, we appreciate, or Jimmy, I should say, we appreciate you coming on tonight on Upon Further Review and joining us here to talk about Huntington North. Congrats on the big win last Friday. Best of luck to you and the rest of the Vikings for the rest of the season.
Yep. Thank you. I really appreciate you.